I went to step out, but as I did, because my femur had been snapped, my leg sort of fell. So I went to step, but then it just kind of like fell, and I fell over. So this is a story about the last pizza I ever delivered. I was freshly home from college. I had withdrawn from college and was living back at home with my mother, and I decided that I would get a job, obviously. And I was very familiar with delivering pizzas. I worked for Papa John's, Pizza Hut, Domino's, and a few other small mom and pop shops. This one was called My Father's Place, and super awesome company. Owner was amazing. I was working on a Friday night, which you typically work to get the best tips. And so I'm headed to a house in the middle Georgia. It's down a dirt road, a dirt driveway, and he had ordered like 2 large pizzas. And I'm driving down the driveway, making my way on down. And it was a long driveway, exceptionally long, actually. So long that I started smoking a blunt on the way down. I don't advise this while you're delivering pizzas, but smoking the blunt, making my way down the driveway, ash it out in the ashtray, put the car in park, get the pizzas, walk, get out of the car door, obviously, walk around the front of the car. I'm walking towards the front door of the house. My car is in their driveway. So about halfway to the house, about halfway to the front door, I hear a revving of an engine. It sounded a little bit suspicious. Turn around. I'm driving a Ford Camry. I'm driving like a 1990 Toyota Camry 4-door. There's no engine. It should not be revving, especially when it's parked and I'm not in it. I turn around and it was like rocking, and then it started rolling. So it was rock and rolling. It starts rolling towards their house. I'm far away. So in my mind, I'm gonna run around the car, get in the front seat, and stop it before it hits their house. Obviously, I cannot be having my car hit this person's house because it would be super embarrassing. But as I'm running, I realize there's no way I'm going to make it around the car and get into the car door and stop it. So I decided it would be better if I tried to stop it from the front and just kind of Superman stop the car from rolling into the house, because it was rolling slowly overall. So I figured, no problem. I've pushed a car before, and it wasn't a huge muscle car. It's a small Toyota Camry. And so I put my hands on the hood, and I braced myself. I kind of angled in a way that you would push a car, but I was trying to stop the car. And it all happened real fast and slow at the same time, because before I knew it, I was smashed in between the house and the car. But then, that's when everything slowed down. When I got hit by the car, time slowed down, and the car sort of reversed just enough for my leg to fall. Like, I went to step out, but I was stuck. But then it reversed. So I don't know if anyone was in there. I don't know how this was all happening, but this happened. There's pictures. I should probably get the picture, but because I tried to step out, but I couldn't. And then when it reversed, I went to step out, but as I did, because my femur had been snapped, my leg sort of fell. So I went to step, but then it just kind of fell, and I fell over. So now I kind of fell out from in between the car and the house, and I'm laying there with my car kind of pinned, right butt up against the house. I'm laying on the ground, and I forgot to mention that as as this was all happening at first, as I was carrying the pizza to the house, and I heard I heard the engine rev, I threw the pizza as close to the front door as I could. So I was trying to deliver the pizza and save the house at the same time. And so that's where the pizza was. The pizza's like on their front porch, but I didn't have a chance to ring the doorbell. So I don't know if they had gotten it yet. This is all happening pretty fast. And so I'm laying there on the ground. And one of my big concerns was I got weed in my pocket and a blunt in the ashtray. My house just hit the car. Definitely going to be fired. There's no way I'm going to be able to make it to the party that my friends were having later. I got a broken leg. But the weed in my pocket, I'm like, if the cops come and they find weed in my pocket, that's not going to look good. So I take the weed out of my pocket. It's in a bag. I'm laying there. And I throw it as far as I can. But because it's in a plastic bag, about 2-3 feet from me, it kind of like unraveled and just flopped. So now I have weed like 3 feet from me. I can't move because my leg is broken, like femur snapped. It's not a good situation. It's not like it was not mobile, and it's kind of one of those scenarios where you're kind of stuck where you are. Anyways, so now I got weed right next to me. I got a broken leg. The car butted up to the house, and I never quite delivered the pizza. But I guess like a couple minutes later, they come out and they're like, hello? And I'm like, hey, I'm over here. Your pizza's in the yard, probably in the bushes. So that, and then like a blur happens and the ambulance is there. I don't know if I passed out or what, but there's an ambulance there. They have a stretcher and they have to get me from the ground to the stretcher. And it's not it's a very short distance from the ground to the stretcher, because the stretcher is like on the ground. But man, did that hurt when they moved me. I remember to this day, like my leg being stretched because the bone was snapped, but the muscle was attached, obviously. So it was this weird accordion thing because my muscle was still holding my leg together, but the bone snapped. It's a whole thing. I was an idiot, by the way. Let's just point that out. I had just dropped out of college for a whole slew of reasons. Primarily, I had been arrested. I wasn't going to class. I was failing all my classes. I was trying to be like the Scarface, Tony Montana of Statesboro or something. Didn't end well. It's a quick rise and fall. Needless to say, I was back at home living with my mom, delivering pizzas. Didn't work out. And I'm laying on the ground with a broken leg and a bag of weed 3 feet from me. And I'm on a stretcher. So now I'm on the stretcher and they take me to the hospital where they put my leg in traction, which means they like put weight to pull it away from my body so that they can straighten it out. So they like put this weight on my leg that was pulling it. Anyways, I just said that. It's a whole contraption. It's like a pulley system. So it pulls your leg. They straighten the bone so that it sits there and it's not like all out of sorts. Ultimately, I ended up getting a titanium rod inserted into the middle of my femur that's still there to this day. And I actually went to the Army afterwards, and I've run a marathon. I've been to war. The titanium rod works. If you ever have to get one, I'm a proponent. Took a long time to recover from that, like a good 6 months at least. I don't know why. I feel like some people recover a lot faster, but I was not in the best state of physical, mental condition, spiritual, even at that point. Yeah. So and my boss, you know, the reason I said originally that this guy was so awesome at my father's place, the pizza job I was working at, the pizza shop I was working at, was I got workers' comp. I don't know what happened to that blunt in the ashtray, but it disappeared. The weed disappeared. Like I got paid for my injury, and I was so grateful. I've had a couple of lucky breaks in my life, and that was one of them, I think. I mean, it just helped me get through. They paid the medical bills, and I got like a couple $100 a week. So I was buying like weed pain pills during that time. Bad time. You know, it wasn't long after that I got like a fresh start, and I moved to California. My dad was like, let me help you. You seem to be a little bit out of sorts. And so he helped me, paid my whatever fines I had to pay. It was only like $2,000 from the previous charges and everything. And then I moved to California and just started anew, you know, and that's a whole other story that we could get into, but I got a fresh start. So that's what happened. And I've come a long way, you know, joined the Army, started a company. I did go back to college. I got my master's degree. So, you know, just, it wasn't a total loss. Because some people get stuck in the system and, you know, just keep repeating the same offenses and never quite make it out. And I know some people like that, and it sucks. I was lucky. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Hope that was entertaining.